그쪽 취향 같은 거 하나도 안 궁금하거든요?
다른 사람 눈에는 보이지 않는 귀신이 보이기도 하고.
그 순간 깨달았다.
손 좀.
앞으로 그 누구의 손도 잡을 수 없다는 걸.
그쪽 전혀 내 취향 아니거든요?
Welcome back to Kdramas Decoded, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode of your favorite K-drama. Episode 1 opens in a forest, where Yori is digging a hole. While digging, she discovers a mobile phone buried in the ground and unlocks it. At the same time, we're introduced to Kang Book, a determined prosecutor who is busy working on an important criminal case. He suddenly receives a phone call informing him that the missing phone connected to his investigation has been found. He immediately asks for the location and rushes to the scene. When Kang Book arrives at the forest, he spots Yori standing near the area where the phone was discovered. Since she's alone at what appears to be a crime scene, he immediately becomes suspicious. He questions her, asking who she is and why she's there. He points out that a woman couldn't possibly have carried a dead body there by herself and demands to know where her accomplice is. Instead of answering, Yori calmly remarks that the criminal always returns to the scene of the crime. Taking this as an accusation, Kang Book confronts her, and the two quickly get into a physical fight. Yori proves surprisingly skilled, repeatedly kicking him until they both tumble down a slope and end up lying on top of each other. At that exact moment, 2 police officers arrive. Seeing the awkward position they're in, the officers misunderstand the situation and jokingly tell them they can't be doing that in the middle of the forest. Embarrassed, both Kang Book and Yori immediately deny it. Soon more police officers arrive to investigate the area. Yori angrily tells Kang Book that she could sue him for attacking her. Kang Book fires back that she kicked him first, so he could just as easily file a complaint against her. He also asks the question that's been bothering him since they met: how did she know there would be a dead body hidden here? Before Yori can respond, Kang Book's fellow prosecutor and friend Pil Dong calls out to him. Kang Book turns away for only a moment, but when he looks back, Yori has mysteriously vanished. Unknown to everyone else, Yori is actually standing beside the spirit of the murdered man whose body has just been discovered. She gently tells the ghost that the culprit will soon be caught and encourages him to move on peacefully to his next life. She even jokes that she hopes he'll marry a good person in his next life before asking whether reincarnation is really real. However, before she can continue talking about herself, the ghost disappears. Sighing, Yori wonders why every ghost leaves whenever she starts talking about her own life. Her thoughts bring back painful memories from 6 years earlier. Back then, Yori was deeply in love with a man named Gi-yu. One day, he surprised her with an engagement ring and proposed to her. Although Yori loved him, she hesitated. She warned him that staying with her wouldn't be easy because strange and terrifying things happened around her every day. People constantly gossiped about her because she could see ghosts. Gi-yu didn't care about the rumors. He took off one of Yori's gloves, gently held her hand, and placed the engagement ring on her finger, promising that none of those things mattered to him. Some time later, the couple's wedding day finally arrived. News reports even covered the high-profile wedding. Yori waited excitedly for Gi-yu, who arrived late after getting stuck in traffic. As they prepared to enter the wedding hall, Gi-yu suddenly realized he had forgotten the wedding ring in his car. He rushed back to the underground parking garage to retrieve it. As he stepped into the elevator, disaster struck. Heavy rain outside caused water to flood the parking area. Water poured into the elevator, trapping him inside. Terrified, he struggled helplessly as the water level continued rising. Outside, Yori noticed the intense rain and became worried. She eventually found Gi-yu in the parking garage, completely soaked and traumatized. But instead of embracing her, he begged her not to come any closer. He confessed that after simply touching her hand, terrible supernatural events had started happening to him. He believed an evil ghost was targeting him because of Yori. Overwhelmed with fear, he broke off their engagement on the spot, apologizing and saying he could never marry her. As Yori stood heartbroken, a ghost lurking behind her quietly remarked that he had no intention of forgiving Gi-yu before disappearing. The story returns to the present. Kang Buk is now prosecuting Sang Yi, a wealthy man accused of murdering his girlfriend. Unfortunately, there isn't enough evidence to secure a conviction. Despite Kang Buk's passionate efforts, the judge declares Sang Yi not guilty. The victim's family and everyone in the courtroom are furious, believing justice has failed. Outside the courthouse, Sang Yi smugly mocks Kang Buk, asking how it feels to lose. Kang Buk refuses to accept defeat and promises to appeal the case once he finds new evidence. Sang Yi confidently tells him he's wasting his time before walking away. Soon after, Kang Buk is summoned by the chief prosecutor, Sang Gu. His superior reluctantly orders him to drop the case because Sang Yi's father is an influential assemblyman who is putting pressure on the prosecution. Despite the political interference, Kang Buk refuses to give up and insists he will continue searching for evidence. Later, Kang Buk receives a call from his grandmother, who asks him to meet her at church. During prayer, she even kicks him for not praying properly. Afterwards, she gives him an unusual warning. He must stay away from any woman born in the year of the black monkey, or terrible misfortune will follow him. Kang Buk dismisses the superstition, saying he doesn't have time for nonsense like that. Neither of them notices that someone nearby has been secretly watching their conversation. That evening, Kang Buk's colleagues invite him out for dinner, but he declines. Before leaving, Pil Dong jokingly warns him not to enter the last restroom in the building because it's supposedly haunted. When Kang Buk later goes to repair the broken lights in the restroom, he becomes convinced something supernatural is inside the final stall. He cautiously opens the door with his flashlight ready and is startled by what appears to be a ghost. Panicking, he runs away only to discover moments later that it was nothing more than a broom standing in the corner. Meanwhile, Yori is revealed to be the CEO of the luxurious Rana Hotel. She always keeps her distance from other people. At the hotel, she suddenly stops walking to avoid getting too close to her employees. A little girl accidentally bumps into her and begins crying. Although Yori wants to comfort her, she refuses to touch the child. The girl's mother apologizes before taking her away, leaving Yori quietly watching from a distance. Yori's secretary then informs her that the chairwoman wants to see her. The chairwoman is Yori's grandmother, Kang Ya, who is meeting with the rest of the family, including Yori's cousins Hari and Dong Jun, along with Hari's mother. During the meeting, Hari watches a news report announcing that Sang Yi has been found not guilty and happily tells everyone she can now marry him. Kang Ya asks Yori what she thinks about Sang Yi. Yori strongly opposes the marriage. She says Sang Yi is nothing without his powerful father and calls him a manipulative liar who betrayed his own girlfriend just to pursue Hari. The conversation shifts to the hotel's finances. While the hotel itself is performing exceptionally well, the famous Sienna Hall has received absolutely no wedding bookings. Employees quietly explain why. Sienna Hall was originally supposed to host Yori and Gi Yu's wedding, but after the groom abandoned her, no couples have wanted to marry there ever since. As the family leaves the hotel, Kang Ya announces that she plans to convert Sienna Hall into an art gallery and present the proposal at the next board meeting in 2 days. Yori firmly objects. She explains that the hall was personally designed by her late father as a gift for her mother and wants it preserved exactly as it is. Her grandmother invites her to dinner, but Yori declines, saying she already has plans. Back home, Yori follows an unusual nightly routine. She exercises at the gym, eats dinner alone, and instead of sleeping in her bedroom, she sleeps inside a camping tent set up in her house. That night, a ghost quietly approaches her tent. Yori notices its shadow immediately and tells it to stop trying to scare her and simply explain what it wants. The audience still isn't shown the ghost's identity. She remembers advice given to her years ago by a shaman. The shaman explained that because Yori can see spirits, she must help them fulfill their final wishes. As long as she continues helping ghosts, she will remain alive. Elsewhere, Kang Buk helps an extremely drunk Pil Dong into a taxi before stopping at a convenience store. At the same time, Yori arrives nearby after following the spirit of a murdered taxi driver. The ghost points toward a suspicious vehicle, indicating that the people inside are responsible for his death. Unsure what to do because she isn't a police officer, Yori hesitates. While she's thinking, the suspects accidentally reverse their car into hers before speeding away in a hit-and-run. Kang-bok witnesses everything and immediately offers to help chase them. Yori initially refuses, but Kang-bok recognizes her as the strange woman he met in the forest earlier that day. After showing her his prosecutor's identification, he convinces her to let him join the pursuit. As they chase the suspects together, Kang-bok notices Yori repeatedly talking to someone who isn't there. Unknown to him, she's actually receiving directions from the taxi driver's ghost, who guides them toward the criminals. During the chase, Kang-bok also notices a small black monkey decoration inside Yori's car. His grandmother's warning immediately comes back to mind, making him wonder if Yori is the woman she warned him about. Eventually, Yori blocks the suspect's vehicle. Kang-bok gets out and fights the criminals, but one of them sneaks up behind him with a weapon. Yori arrives just in time and smashes the attacker over the head with a baseball bat, saving Kang-bok's life. When Kang-bok falls to the ground, Yori still refuses to touch him directly. Instead of grabbing his hand, she uses the baseball bat to help him stand up, carefully avoiding any physical contact. As the suspects are arrested, Yori tells Kang-bok this isn't simply a hit-and-run case. She urges him to check the trunk of the car. When he opens it, everyone is horrified to discover the dead body of the missing taxi driver inside. The taxi driver's ghost watches peacefully as his own body is finally found. Remembering how the criminals murdered him and stuffed his body into the trunk, he thanks Yori with a grateful smile before his soul finally disappears. Kang-bok watches Yori leave and can't stop thinking about her. He wonders who she really is and how she somehow knew there was a dead body hidden in the trunk. The following morning, Pil-dong investigates the case further. He reveals that someone had anonymously called from an old telephone booth to report suspicious activity. Security footage also shows a rare pair of expensive sneakers. After checking the records, they discover that only 3 pairs exist in the entire country. One owner is currently living in America, another is in prison for fraud, leaving only one mysterious owner whose identity is almost impossible to uncover. Their investigation leads them to Rena Hotel, where they learn that its CEO almost never appears in public. Kang-bok visits the hotel to question Yori, but the receptionist refuses to let him see her without an appointment. Just then, Kang-bok spots Yori walking through the hotel. The moment she notices him, she immediately turns and runs away. Kang-bok chases after her through the building until Yori hides inside a room. Kang-bok also slips inside and is forced to hide inside a locker when employees enter. The employees gossip about Yori, mentioning that she hasn't changed at all over the past 5 years. They criticize her for refusing to comfort the little girl who bumped into her earlier and point out that she always wears gloves and never lets anyone touch her. Once the employees leave, Kang-bok follows Yori all the way to her office. Curious, he notices a file on her desk and reaches for it, but accidentally knocks it onto the floor. Hearing the noise, Yori realizes he's followed her again. She rushes to the office door just as Kang-bok reaches it from the other side. When the door suddenly swings open, Yori loses her balance and begins to fall. At the very last second, Kang-bok catches her by the hand. The episode ends with the two staring into each other's eyes, setting up the beginning of their strange, supernatural partnership.